All right, good evening. I think we are now live. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Ansley Moon, and I will be reading with, um, sorry, just making sure it's all live. I'll be reading tonight with Tiana Nobil and Arlen Dunn. I'm so excited to be here and to be reading with Poets in Pajamas. So thank you so much to Sarah, Poets in Pajamas, and Sundress for having us tonight. So I'll read, then Tiana will read, and then Arlen will end our series for us. So I'm going to read three poems for you, and then I'll pass it off to Tiana. I just recently was at this event with in CTE, and Joy Harjo was there, and that was amazing. But one of the things that Joy Harjo said in the reading that I was in is that she said you have to call out your poetry ancestors. And I love that. And I thought of this poem that actually kind of called to my poetry ancestors that I wrote. It's called Field Studies or the Floating Poem. Um, okay. It's also written in sections with numbers, so I'll make sure to read the sections as well. So if you hear the counting in the poem, that's what that is. Field Studies or the Floating Poem. 1. Field, filed, fled. 2. This is a field of tiny bones, all girls. 3. Beyond the field is a small pond, river, body of water, where the mothers take the bone girls and return alone. 4. There is an art to drowning. 5. A field is an open expanse of land, a grave. 6. First, you must submerge the body, best if head underwater. 7. A river, a bed of sediment, water, and death. 8. You must be prepared to hold the baby girl asunder and not let go. 9. Do not let go. 10. You must be prepared to fight. 11. If you return with the girl, he will beat you and then kill you both. 12. I should not tell you this. Survival is not made for two. 13. The hardest part will not be the water, but carrying your limp bone girl back to the field. So my second poem is called Girls, and it has a line from Monique Chong's book called Bitter in the Mouth. And the line from the poem is actually one of the first lines in the book. Girls. What I know about you, little girl, would break you in two, splinter you into memory. Your face, a bloody rose on concrete. Girl, your body cataclysmic, your body buried under the dung floor. We eat over your bones, we fuck over your bones. When you splinter a girl, she's half animal, half God. I opened my legs and bore a beast. She was my third. I will my body no more girls. And I actually wanted to end my reading with a poem that's not written by me, but is written by Audre Lorde. And I was talking to many of my friends who are poets, and many of them said that they feel like they haven't been writing this year. And I would say I haven't really been either. But I think this poem is a really beautiful poem as a reminder for all of us to write and to survive, which is what I hope we are all doing right now. A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward, at once before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the deaths of ours. For those of us who were imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hope to silence us, for all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid. Our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive. So before I tell you about our last reader, I leave you with a poetry prompt inspired by Audre Lorde. My poetry prompt is simple. What does your litany for survival look like in 2020? I'll say that one more time. In 2020, what does your litany of survival look like? And I'm really excited to introduce the next reader, Tiana Nobile. I'll just read her bio right here. Tiana Nobile is a Korean American adoptee, Kundiman Fellow, and a recipient of the Rona Jaffe Foundation Writers Award. A finalist for the National Poetry Series and the Kundiman Poetry Prize, her writing has appeared in Poetry Northwest, The New Republic, Guernica, and the Texas Review, among others. Her full-length poetry debut, Cleave, is forthcoming in spring 2021 by Hub City Press. I think it's also available for pre-order via Hub City Press. She lives in New Orleans, Louisiana. For more, visit her website, tiananobile.com. All right, thank you so much for having me. I'll end my live video and then Tiana is up next.